To be setting loose on the Cadwell Park circuit. We've been lucky with the weather, it's held up, and we haven't had any rain, which I'm very pleased about. So as you'll see, we've got cars from the early V12s to the 6 cylinders, and even a class for automatics. Chris Palmer's modified 4-litre Class E car leads Andrew Harrison's standard car. So we're going to see these XJSs on the circuit. I've seen these cars racing, not here before, but I've seen them at Brands Hatch, and it was a very spectacular sight. And of course, Jaguar XJS doesn't sadly have a great deal of value anymore. These cars can be bought very, very cheaply, turned into race cars, and then taken to the circuits. But they're coming out on the grid now to form up. We're waiting, I think, for one of the midgets to be recovered from the circuit, and possibly a few other things to be sorted out, and then we'll be able to start this race well within the Cadwell Park Saturday curfew, I think.
Last race of the day, and it should be a good one. On the front row then, 23, Stuart Liddell, and 74, Alex Harrison. Ooh, I'm out of breath, forgive me. On the second row, 5, Andrew Harrison, and 1, Chris Palmer. On the third row, 7, Mark Russell, and 91, Kevin Doyle. He's a quick one. On the fourth row, 69, Peter Burton, and 71, Philip Comer. On row 5, 37, Ray Hill, and 31, Ian Drage. On the sixth row, 73, Paul Merritt, and number 17, Simon Seath. And on the seventh row, number 14, Phil Taylor. Oh, screens nurse, and an oxygen cylinder, please. I shouldn't have done that. Forgive the huffing and the puffing. It should be a good race, this, Paul, because they're big, they're powerful. More problems, though, presumably because they're so big and powerful, and the brakes will take a punishment, won't they?
All brakes and tyres, I would think, yeah.
And tyres.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. There's just a bit of sorting out going on up here. I'm not quite sure what's going on, because I can't see the other side of the tyre wall, but everybody seems to be happy now. There's a convoy of vehicles leaving, including the rescue vehicle, and the course car is going to be right behind it. So I think we'll be ready for the green flag lap imminently.
Lovely. What a good sportsman Sean Peters is, isn't he? He just strikes you as being a top man in the sportsmanship department.
Yeah, yeah.
Wonderful.
And
magnanimous. He knows he could be defeated at Croft.
Yeah, I mean, he'll also be pleased because by winning the race today, he won the Mallinson Rose Bowl. And
have you told us about the Mallinson Rose Bowl?
And his dad won it last year, so they brought it back today, and I've got to take it home with me tonight.
Do our audience know the story briefly? Without going to be too gruesome.
It's sadly in memory of the Mallinson Rose Bowl, of a former secretary of the MG Car Club, Northwest Centre, who died in tragic circumstances. I think that's all I'd say. Well, Mike Rouse's car has just been towed away, so that's why he didn't finish the race. And Mike's another person new to the circuit this season, new to cockpit racing. He's had some terrible bad luck with that MGS, so he didn't start the race at Silverstone with a blown head gasket, and now it's being towed away. So hopefully Mike will get some better luck in the future. But the course car's clear, and we should be ready to go, I think.
Yeah, there's one of the MGFs from, yes, you're right, it is...
it's the Mike Rouse car.
It is the Mike Rouse car, it's just being towed to a place of safety, and the course car just following round to make quite sure that the course is clear, so we're going to get the green light any moment now, I suspect. The radio signal will come through to the gantry. The big cats, meanwhile, wait. No doubt none too patiently.
None too patiently, and very expectantly, I think.
Yes.
all that horsepower and CC is all waiting there deadly quiet, but in a minute it'll all be fired into life.
I know. Well, as you know, my lad is an engineer at Jaguar, so it does bring me up in goosebumps when I see powerful Jaguars about to do battle.
And I mean, I suppose it's inevitable in our sort of world of society, but I mean, these are effectively throwaway cars now, aren't they? You know, many of the XJSs are just scrapped, or you know, they're just worth nothing.
Yeah, they're just a wonderful car.
I know, and you know, there's a lot of concern in the MG world that a lot of MGs are being scrapped, you know, through the scrappage scheme.
And they won't be seen again?
Well, they have to be scrapped, you know, because a lot of MGs are worth less than £2,000, they're being traded in as scrappage, and some other historic cars are as well, so not a happy situation, really. But the early MGFs, for instance, really have no value anymore. It's very sad, but
no monetary value anyway.
No monetary value. No, that's what I mean. And,
I know.
But neither, you know, and the demand for spares has fallen off as well anyway. So it's all a bit sad, really. But every car goes through that, doesn't it? I mean, MGBs and midgets went through that. A lot were broken for spares, and now people cherish them, rebuild them with heritage shells and things. So hopefully, in the long term, you know, there'll be plenty of MGFs survive. I do hope so. But I mean, the good news is, of course, now buying the TF135, which is the new version of the MG TF, at a very competitive price. 13,500, and one of the dealers brought one to one of our pub meetings, and it's a very nicely finished off car, so at £13,500.
That's a good value, isn't it?
Yeah, and if you've got a scrappage car, you get another £2,000 off, so £11,500. So we're hopeful as the MG Car Club that more people buy them and join the club. I think that's what we want to see, a successful MG manufacturing operation.
Yeah, amen to that. Well, Paul, Stuart Liddell being very controlled at the head of this green flag lap.
He doesn't have rumble. You talked about the Simon Cripps, or the Morgan's rumbling, but this is worse than rumbling. This is grumbling or something.
Round shaking, yes.
I was saying, I don't know whether you heard me, but I haven't seen these cars race here before, but I did see them race at Brands Hatch at an MG Car Club meeting, where most of them ended up beached in the gravel traps either side of
Paddock Hill Bend, yes. Good old Paddock Hill Bend.
Yeah, I think most of the race was behind a safety car while they tried to extract them. But of course, once they go in the gravel trap, it's just about impossible for snatch vehicles to pull them out.
Yeah, I know. Well, the safety car is here, ready to be grappled.
Luckily, we've had no safety cars today in 10 races. All right.
No, I'm only teasing you.
Yeah.
I think we shall be okay. But certainly these big, powerful Jaguars will...
This is a very slow green flag lap. I must say, if they're trying to warm up their tyres and brakes, they won't be doing it very well.
No,
with this lap, it's far too slow.
I suppose they think, well, they're just going to get overheated anyway.
No, I think some of the drivers behind will be a bit frustrated at the slowness, because obviously you can only go as fast as the pole man goes.
Yeah.
And
no overtaking on the green flag lap.
That's right. One or two people were looking like they wanted to go a bit faster down here.
Yeah.
And if you're third or fourth or fifth on the grid, and you can't go around on the green flag lap as quickly as you'd like to, you know, your brakes and things won't be as warm as you'd want them to be for the first few corners. So it's even from my long distance perspective, it doesn't half fill the track, doesn't it?
It don't half. Ooh, the pride. And some of the cars, of course, finished in the same livery as it was the Tom Walkinshaw team, wasn't it, in the European Touring Car Championship years ago?
Oh, yeah, I mean, these cars do have a racing heritage, whereas the saloons earlier don't really have a racing heritage. I mean, these do. The Tom Walkinshaw days, XJSs were incredibly successful, weren't they?
They were.